Hello, thanks for joining me today. This will be part 1 of 2-part episode where I'll be talking about one of my favourite things. And I'm so excited about it! Eclipses! Eclipses are really cool. There's 2 kinds and I'm going to explain what they are and how they work. Basically, to start with, we have 3 celestial bodies that are all constantly interacting. Us, which is the Earth, the Sun, and the Moon. The definition of the words celestial body to describe a large object in space, like a planet, a star, or moon. Eclipses are events where the moon casts a shadow on the Earth, which is a solar eclipse, or the Earth casts a shadow on the moon, which is a lunar eclipse. This is because as we orbit around the sun, the Earth gets between the sun and the moon. As the moon orbits around the Earth, it gets between us and the sun. Technically, an eclipse could happen 2 times every month, and we will have those events all the time. But why don't we? It all has to do with the elliptical plane of the Earth and the Moon. The Moon has a slightly tilted orbit, and it's a little bit elliptical. Higher, lower. Higher, lower. Higher, lower. Higher, lower. This means the 3 celestial bodies end up almost completely lined up about twice every 6 months. Let's go into a bit more detail of how this works. We'll start with lunar eclipses. When the moon is at the right elliptical plane, the Earth will basically block out the light of the sun on the moon, casting a shadow onto the face of the moon. This can result in what's called a blood moon, and we see the moon as reddish and brownish colour. Sometimes we can see more than one of these in a 6-month period. Eclipses come in pairs, and sometimes we get 2 solar or lunar eclipses in an eclipse season. An eclipse season is about 5 days longer than a lunar month. An eclipse season is about 34 days. Wow, lunar eclipses are pretty cool. Solar eclipses are the best! I really like them. There's a few types of solar eclipses: partial, annular, total, and hybrid. All these things are describing the amount of sunlight blocked out from our view on Earth. Imagine you're outside on a sunny day. Unfortunately, it's not really a sunny day today, so we can't really demonstrate. If you hold your hand up and block out the sun on one sunny day, to block out the sun from your face, it'll only cover part of your face, while the sun still shines around that shadow. This is what happens during a solar eclipse. Because of the size and distance of the moon from Earth, it appears if the moon has completely blocked out the sun. 3, 2, 1. All that is visible from the sun is the corona and the chromosphere, or the outside layer of the sun. That is a spectacular event. The line that the moon draws across the Earth as it rotates around is called the path of totality, and it's only in this small line that people will have a full sun blocked out. This is called the umbral shadow. If you're in the umbral shadow, it'll become as dark as 30 minutes after sunset. For the duration that it takes for the moon to travel across the face of the sun, this can range from like half a minute to 7.5 minutes. I think the longest one that was recorded is 7 minutes and 8 seconds. Then we have a penumbral shadow. That's where you see the partial solar eclipse. A portion of the sunlight is blocked, but not all of it. While this is pretty cool and the light goes really weird, it'll appear as daylight. So sometimes the moon will cross over the path of the sun, blocking the light, which describe partial eclipses. I didn't tell you what an annular solar eclipse is. An annular solar eclipse is when the moon covers the sun, but the edge of the sun is still there. An annular eclipse is when the moon covers a part of the sun, leaving the edge not covered. So it appears as a ring. They call this a ring of fire. The rarest kind of eclipses is a hybrid, and this is where it goes from annular to total and back to annular during its path. Once the path of totality has crossed the Earth, it will be another 375 years on average until one pinpoint location around the world will see another total solar eclipse. Where I live, the next total solar eclipse won't be until 2068.
I'll be an old man.
Let's talk a little bit about eclipses in history. What have people across the world made of these events? Did they love them, or did they not really understand them like we do today? Well, some people thought that eclipses were a sign of danger. The ancient Greeks used to think that the gods were angry with them, and they were being punished by having the sun being taken away. The Egyptians and Mayans believed it was a sign of change and transformation. In Western Asia, it was believed that a dragon was eating the sun. And in the Americas, they told a story about a bear taking a walk around the Milky Way, who gets in a fight with the sun, and the bear bites the sun. Some cultures believed that it was the sun and moon being in love. Aww. There's so many stories about pumas and different animals eating the sun. Often these people will dance and sing, make loud music and bang drums to chase away the animal threatening the sun. There are some really cool stories about eclipses, and it shows that people believe different things and also have really good imaginations and love telling stories to each other. Last year there was a total solar eclipse in our state. It was short, just less than a minute. I didn't manage to get to see it, but the sun did get funny at my house. In 2017 in USA, they had a Great American Eclipse, which traveled right through the center of the country. Hundreds of thousands of people went outside to witness this once-in-a-lifetime event. And lots of people who watched it contributed their recordings to make what was called the mega movie. Here's a little clip from that.
This collection of photos was taken by a group of dedicated volunteers across the US during the 2017 total solar eclipse. They have been algorithmically stitched together based on the time and location of the photo to give us an extended look at the sun's atmosphere.
I love watching these events on one of my favourite websites, which is Time and Date, where Graham Jones, the astrophysicist, and Embark, the time zone expert, talk about what's happening in the eclipse and all sorts of other things about the moon and the sun. I like reenacting the moon's position with circles that I make. I also love looking at where eclipses will be or there have been in the last decades and centuries. Last year I saw that there will be another Great American Eclipse this year in 2024. It starts in the North Pacific Ocean, it crosses a tiny bit of South America, and then crosses the United States, starting in Texas and moving right across and up to the bottom right side of Canada and out into the North Atlantic Ocean. My dad said jokingly we should watch it in Texas because it'll be really cool. I didn't really get he was joking, so I got very excited about going to Texas to see the Great Eclipse in 2024. Mum and Dad told me that it was very expensive to get that far away, and that we probably wouldn't really be getting to Texas. I still loved watching the past eclipses every day and talking about the Great American Eclipse in 2024. Finally, Mum and Dad said if we work really hard, we can try and make it there. And things changed and we needed to forget about going there. After having a tough year and losing one of our family members in our home last year, Mum and Dad decided that we needed something good to look forward to. So we set out to make my dream book going to Texas to watch the eclipse come true. Part 2 of this special eclipse episode will be me, my mum and my dad heading over to America to see the eclipse in Waco, Texas on April 8th. I'm going to take lots of photos and videos of my journey to share with you all here, and I might even visit some really cool places and make a video of that too. Thanks for watching my eclipse episode. Stay tuned for part 2, and as usual, like, share and definitely subscribe to my channel. By the way, did you like my shirt today? It says be greater than average. I actually like them. I never pick my nose in recordings, but that's making a noise.
Okay.